Hi, everyone. Hey, we are halfway through this semester. Can you believe that? It is flying so fast, and you all are doing so well keeping up with this crazy summer schedule. But here we are in week 4, and I'm excited about week 4 because I love rhetorical analysis, and that's what we're getting into. So first of all, before I even get into this, and don't worry, this looks like a whole lot more than it actually is, let me go all the way up here and go back to our home page and show you that I have added a shortcut to our second writing project, all the instructions for this writing project. Make sure you go back and read over this quite a bit. We're writing this summary analysis response essay that is basically summarizing, analyzing, and responding to one of these articles right here. So we've already practiced summary this last week, and now we're going to get into the analysis. Let me go back home, and this is easiest, and find our module 4 again. So here we go. We have this week, and just like last time, it's lightning round. This is due next Tuesday, okay? And so not this coming Tuesday, but a week from Tuesday. All right, so here we go. Let's look at what we've got this week. This video is going to be posted right here. Here's just an overview of what we have to turn in this week. We have a whole lot more to read. We're going to be reading a lot this week. And it's all good, important stuff on how to be rhetorically savvy, how to know how people, what kind of tricks and tools they are using to persuade us, and then actually how we can use those same tools and tricks to persuade others. But it's really important to know how language and how writing and how authors and people out there with agendas are using language to persuade us. I mean, if we aren't honed into that, we can simply go through life responding to and just accepting everything that everyone is telling us without having full control and without being empowered to respond from a place of knowledge, okay? And so the first thing we are going to be doing this week is a lot of reading on what is rhetoric and what is rhetorical analysis. And when I say a lot, there's several things to read, but they're short. I've found a couple really good articles here. I go really quickly, that I totally found from some liberal arts college in Utah that are really good about rhetoric. What is rhetoric? What is rhetorical analysis? How do we apply those kind of tools to rhetorically analyze the writing in these articles that we are looking at? And so I'm asking you to read those. And then I have a few pages that I've created within this module too that I'm asking you to read over. And then once you read all over that, you're going to, write a short paragraph kind of summarizing and sharing the key points of these articles. But then I'm also going to ask you to include, in addition, some basic definitions. I'm not a big definition person usually, but it's important to know the terms we are going to be using throughout the rest of this semester, throughout the rest of this assignment, okay? So read over those, and then here I've got examples of some great videos, some great tutorials on what is rhetoric, what is genre, what do we mean by that, and then some of the methods authors use to appeal to their audience. They're called, the classical appeals. They're clear back from Aristotle. But how do authors convince, or what kind of methods do they use to appeal to their audience? So this one's all about ethos, or establishing credibility and trust, pathos, emotion, lots of important information. I like those videos because they're emotional. Of course I like them. They appeal to me. Logos, logic, how does an author use statistics and numbers and quantifiable data to convince their audience, and how do they also rely on their audience's sense of logic to convince them? And then I've got some good things to watch there. Kairos, I love Kairos. One of my favorite things. So watch over that, read over that, and then go back and, post that assignment. But then here we're going to apply this. Apply all of those things we just learned to analyze an ad. Advertising is one of the easiest things to analyze because they're so blatant, they're so obvious, because they don't care. They just want to sell us something or sell us an idea. And so I have this great ad. It is great because it's impactful. I am not arguing here pro, gun control or not. That has nothing to do with this. But no matter what opinion you have, this is an effective ad, and we're going to kind of dissect it and look at why it is effective. And I have here, I've already posted several posts that I want you to respond to, reply to. You're going to pick 4 of them. It'll make much more sense when you read over this. But when you reply, when you pick one that you want to reply to, don't reply up here. No one's going to be replying up here to the main post, but you're going to hit these replies right here. And then you're going to pick one and reply to those. And you're going to pick about 4 of those, or you are going to pick exactly 4 of those and reply to those. And it's really interesting to get a good conversation. Don't worry about getting right or wrong. A lot of this is, I mean, there's some basic correct answers, but it's more opinion. There's a lot of opinion going into this. So that's just fine. And I'll join in there also. Then we have this by Saturday. It's a rhetorical breakdown sheet for your, oh, I don't want to download it. What am I doing? Cancel. You're going to take your article, and don't worry about writing paragraphs or anything like that. This is for you to write notes on. You can be bullet point notes. That's absolutely fine, but I want you to fill this in just with all of your ideas and notes. What is the main argument? What is the context? Who's the intended audience? And I want you to turn this in because I want to make sure that you're on the right track, but I want you to basically write down the notes from which you are going to write your analysis from, okay? Get that in there. And then all I have is, next is an example. Now this is an example of the exact essay that we are writing right now, a summary, analysis, and response essay. You will be able to find each of those sections in this essay. The only thing that this has that I am not requiring of you is I required this student to include another source, a third source in their response. Don't worry about that. You're not required to do that here because we're moving at such a fast pace. But read over this and become familiar with what this genre of a summary analysis response essay looks like. And hopefully that will help you. Other than that, we just have the next week's post, and I just have this published already because I do have the submission post open. The submission, yeah, page open. Don't submit yet. Don't submit early. Wait until you go through this week and write and figure out what analysis is and take your time with this. But then it's open here just so you can have it here as kind of like a calendar gauge, a time gauging tool, so you know when this is going to be due. All right, that was a whole lot. Thank you for listening, and let me know if you have any questions, okay?